I just want to play in big games, you know. I want to have opportunities to make big-time plays in the fourth quarter against really good teams in big moments rather than a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday somewhere. That quote is from ESPN's cover story by Seth Wickersham. And Sam, you know, the man makes a really good point. He wants bigger things out of his career, and he has seemingly moved on to bigger pastures, greener pastures. So do you think that Stafford is going to win a Super Bowl in L.A.?
I do. I absolutely do. I think he will, and based on the model that's been presented before. Matthew Stafford, we all know he has a phenomenal arm talent. Not if everyone doesn't know before, they're going to know now. In 2011, he threw for over 5,000 yards and 41 touchdowns. Like, this dude can do things with the ball that we all talk about with Patrick Mahomes, and we all awe over and gush over. We just don't watch it because Detroit's games are on 1 o'clock on Sunday with 5, 6, 7 other games. He's got 5 primetime games this year. But here's the reason why I think he'll win a Super Bowl. He's got not only a number 1 defense from last year, the number 1 rated defense with guys like Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Yes, they have a new defensive coordinator, but still, top defense. He's got an offensive line that can protect him. Andrew Whitworth, he's got a left tackle. And also he's got a brilliant offensive-minded coach who can get him where he needs to go. I think the LA Rams are going to be, honestly, in the NFC Championship game this year. I think they could be that good. A motivated Matt Stafford, who's 33 years old. Like, Tom Brady's 46. So, like, let's not talk about he's old. A motivated Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, offensive weapons. And then, yes, it's a strong division, but, man, I think that with the weapons on offense, weapons on defense, the offensive line, just traded for Sony Michel, the LA Rams were, in a lot of ways, a quarterback away last year and the year before, and when they were in the Super Bowl before. I think that Matthew Stafford can take them there, not this year, but next year.
Okay, next year.
Who was the quarterback when they went to the Super Bowl?
Who was their quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm. So here's my thing. The narrative out of LA seems to be, oh, if only we had a competent quarterback. Man, we'd really have done something. Y'all got to the Super Bowl. Because I covered that game. I was there. And I watched Sean McVay, like, yuck it up with Bill Belichick. Like, oh, this is so great. I'm with Bill. You know, and then I watched the offensive genius get completely embarrassed. And, like, that's the truth. And Sean McVay, if he was sitting here right now, he would tell you, yeah, that was not my finest day. But it's not just the Jared Goff thing. Like, it seems like we're just kicking Jared Goff and it's like, oh, okay, now that he's gone, now we can really do something. And I don't think that's fair to Jared Goff. And I understand Matt Stafford, because when you think about quarterbacks under a ton of pressure, to me, Matt Stafford is at the top of the list. Might be, you could question whether it's Dak 1, him 2, or Stafford 1 and Dak 2. Because Matt Stafford is a guy that everybody believes in. Everybody says, oh, if he ever had, consistent weapons, if he was out of Detroit, well, okay, now you're out of Detroit. Now the stakes are really high because Sean McVay was labeled the baby genius, was labeled the offensive guru. And since then, we have seen a Rams team push everything to the middle of the table. Draft picks. When was the last time they had a first-round draft pick? You know what I mean? Push everything into the middle of the table, said, this is our time. And they haven't won a Super Bowl. And so it's not that I don't think Stafford is capable of winning a Super Bowl. It's what's happening all around in LA. It might be sunny in LA all the time, but it is not always sunny in that building. So that, to me, is the real issue. Because you mentioned, Acho, oh, no, I'm taking my time. So I see that hand getting ready to rebut because you're in the Stephen A. chair. Oh, no. So when you see,
there's a lot of power in that chair.
When you see, that you mentioned the defensive coach, like they got a new defensive coordinator. It's not just a new defensive coordinator. There are like 7 new assistants, including an offensive line coach. Andrew Whitworth, one of the best offensive tackles in the game when healthy. He's also almost 40. That's not to say he's not good. Andrew, you are so good. But when do you think they'll win a Super Bowl? This year? Maybe next year? Okay,
how old next year? You said next year, right, Tim?
Okay, how old will Andrew be then? You know what I mean? Like, we talk about the Steelers and the offensive line and moving pieces around and new coordinators, new coaches, all that. Well, the Rams have to deal with that too. So I know that it's real great to get excited about the Rams, but to me, it's internally. And I think there's way more pressure on Sean McVay than Matt Stafford, and that's saying a lot.
And what do you think about that? Who do you think there's more pressure on, Stafford or McVay?
Well, but before I get there, I gotta address Kimberly, this conversation. You say you're gonna take my time before I rebut, so allow me.
I'll see my time.
Allow me to rebut.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
My
Okay,
name
go
is
ahead.
Hope. Allow me to rebut. And so you made a phenomenal point. You made a phenomenal point that in that Super Bowl, that 2019 Super Bowl, Sean McVay got exposed.
Yes.
And you know what was interesting? A few weeks earlier, during the 2018 season, Sean McVay also got exposed when the number 1 rated offensive team in the LA Rams came to Chicago and played the number 1 rated defense in the Chicago Bears. Right. And that was when, and I was on that team, that was when I knew, oh, Sean McVay got exposed. And so when they went to that Super Bowl and you saw that New England ran the exact same style of defenses, the exact same coverages that you saw that the Bears run, that's when I knew, oh, this is going to be a problem. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, and here's the only reason why I think the LA Rams are going to be a Super Bowl contender this year and a Super Bowl champion next year. Here's the reason. A good quarterback can erase bad coaching. A good quarterback can make an okay coach look like a phenomenal coach. I've experienced firsthand. I've seen Matthew Stafford.
So McVay's just an okay coach.
That's the thing. So the point.
Okay, you see it. You guys see it, right?
No,
you guys see it too. Now, who's the bad coach now?
Sean McVay got exposed.
Is he a genius or is he a bad coach? I just want to know what are we doing?
Sean McVay got exposed in the Super Bowl. He was labeled as this brilliant coach. We met him Chicago met them in the regular season. They got exposed. Then he got exposed again in the Super Bowl, right? But what happens when you get a quarterback like Matthew Stafford? Not a rookie, not a second year, not a third year trying to figure it out. A seasoned vet, a guy who can throw from every angle, a guy who can look defensive backs off, look safeties off, a guy who can make a play right even when you think it's going to go wrong. That's who Matthew Stafford is. And so even if Sean McVay said, oh, I had a bad day, right? You have a bad day. Even when you have a bad day, with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, he will make your bad days look good. Like, that's what he does.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.